Hi guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry popping back on again. Guys, I was just on live just a little bit ago. I went live and I don't know how it works. This is my very first time going live or returning back to a live in the same night, extending the live out. I'm one of those people where I don't have a hard time filling a space when I go live. I don't have a hard time filling a space. Um the very first time I went live, I had the hardest time going live. Was nervous, all this, that, and the third. But after I went live a couple of times, I'm just like, this is the way to go. And I love going live. So with that being said, a lot of times when it's actually been every time that I've gone live, it goes over. I think there may be one or two times where here on TikTok, my whole live can be my live replay, like the whole thing has actually been put on, been I've been able to upload it to YouTube or to TikTok. I always have to go and upload my replays, my live replays over on YouTube. So with that being said, I hope that you will go ahead, join me on YouTube and like, click, share, subscribe, all that different stuff, and light the candle. Okay. But here on TikTok, you have to be keep ticking and talking, but you have to keep it within an hour. Like it's all about that clock. And once it goes over an hour, after that you can't upload the whole replay. It then has to become where you can make live clips. You can make clips and put that up on TikTok. But you can't over after an hour you can't replay, upload the whole live replay. So with that being said, being that this is a day where, an auspicious day where, um, people around the world, whatever, they're celebrating this, can I call it a holiday? It's like a celebration going on where, it's all about choosing light over darkness. And guys, I love that. I love, trying to be happy and all that. I do call myself again. I'm going to say again, this is Shadow Girl Sherry. You're joining Shadow Girl Sherry. This is the voice of Shadow Girl Sherry. And I call myself Shadow Girl Sherry. With that being said, I have shadow work to do. So if you're tuning in this, if you're hearing my voice right now, I've popped up on your For You page. It just might be that you need to do some shadow work. And hey, come and do some shadow work with me. Join my channel, like, click, share, subscribe, and let's light the light. Okay. Um, but tonight there is a celebration going on, and it is called Diwali. I'm going to say this again. I don't know a whole lot about it, but I know that there are different like cultures or whatever that you sometimes you wonder. Like I have looked at, and it's like, how did they do that? How did they do that? Like you may not know everything. You may not know everything about like a different like nationality or group of people or whatever, but I'll quickly say this. Um, I know that like some people would say, okay, if you up an altar, you're setting up an altar, like you're going against. Some people would say that you're like going against God, or that's evil because you're calling a spirit or something in. There's different people that don't believe that. You know, here there's another thing called and I have I have an wax melt that's actually about that. You may have heard about the Day of the Dead. Okay, there are different places where where death is actually celebrated. That's a whole other video. But the Day of the Dead, okay, it's like it's honored. It's looked at in a different way. Okay, it's not really the ending. I'll put it like that. It's not the ending. Like it goes beyond that. So with that being said, um another thing that I'm going to say, I've heard about, people having like if you go to um get your nails done. You ever notice when you go and you get your nails done, you might see a certain place that's set up in the nail salon, whatever, where there could be like different fruits, or you see gold and you see different things that's set up in like the corner or somewhere. I don't know everything about it. And I haven't had my nails done in a long time, but there's just an area that's like designated. Not everybody knows it, but the reason why that is set up, it's for It's like it's an altar. It's kind of like it's an altar where there are offerings left. And this is for a specific, I think I pronounce it deity. Okay. And the idea is that's to bring, they truly believe, and I believe in a spirit world. They truly believe that if you pour into this deity, they're going to pour into you. They're going to pour into your business. It's about their business. They've got the gold, all this stuff set up because that's bringing that it's good energy. It's fueling, it's bringing the clients in. It's bringing them business. That guys, you're here. I am. I got to tell you guys something, and I'm just being real. Because again, if you're watching this, I'm gonna say that I kind of feel like, maybe I've said it before. Kind of feel like in real life we might be real friends, and we might go out and have a dessert or have coffee or whatever. I say that my cat Sasha is my co-host. Is my co-host on my channel. And it's because I love her so much. And if you're watching this video, you're probably into animals and stuff too. But right now, um, I'm just with my cat right now. Like, she's in the room. Like, and I don't know if you can hear, she's just making her presence known, really. I don't know. When I look at this again, I'm going to wonder if, I'm going to see if I can hear her. You may have just heard her bell, but she's kind of making herself known. I'll just leave it at that. I will leave it at that. But anyhow, that there is a certain area that's set up, and the idea is there could be like fruits, there could be like I don't know, like maybe a piece of cake, whatever, candle, whatever. But because I don't know everything about the deity, whatever they're working with, but it is set up for them because it's set up to bring business for them. Okay. And come on now, there are some people like you look at them and you're wondering how are they doing what they're doing? Okay. How are they doing what they're doing? I remember there was one time I had to go up to this particular guy, right? I was somewhere and, I just did it because I'm like, man, that car, that's a beautiful car. I didn't know what the car was. Okay. I don't drive one. Went over to this guy, and this is a guy that, he's, it doesn't look like me. And, look, I don't know what, nationality, whatever he was, but I'm like, okay, I go up to him and I'm like, that is a nice car. What kind of car is it? Just for me to know, and hey, it'd be nice to have that car. It was a Tesla. Okay. And I thought about it, and I'm like, different national, what they do things in different ways. And it's like, just because, like, you might be a Christian or go to church or whatever, but maybe if you grew up where they were, you would be doing exactly what they were doing. So it's like, I'm not the one to judge people, and it's just like, I don't know, like, how did they do that? Did you just do it by hard work, or was there a little extra something, on the other side? What I'm just gonna say that helped, that poured in a little bit. I mean, guys, whenever you're thinking positive and things like that, it's a good thing. I mean, come on, one thing feeds off of the other. Okay, that's the way I look at it, and it's about keeping positive. But I'm going to say this too. I, wasn't the biggest on like Indian food. I tried something recently, and it was the spices, the different spices and things like that. You would be so surprised if somebody cooks things in a certain way. They work with different spices and things like that. You may not even need meat. It tastes so good. It was it had curry, different spices in it, and it was cauliflower, I believe. It was so good. It was so good. And I'm like, oh, I can see why somebody would like this. I could see this being very healthy. So it's just a different way in doing something. And think about it, if you were fasting or living life in a different type of way, it could change your whole perspective. with that being said, I'm going to start reading these notes because, guys, I'm a Gemini and I can be talkative. Okay, so I'm going to read my notes that I took real quickly. I jotted down before I made this video. There is if you watch my other live, if you joined it, you heard me talk about young lady that I follow. I've been following for years. Every time one of her videos pops up, if I can't watch it right then, I watch it later on. I, mark it and I watch it later on. I love her. I feel like she's my sister. If she was around me here and there, like, I'm like, man, it's kind of like I feel like she's a celebrity. Like, she has encouraged me. It was her that kind of made me feel like I wanted to jump on and, get a channel started, my YouTube channel, which is called Sunset Songs. I'm hoping that you will choose to go over on YouTube and join me there. With that being said, here on TikTok, I got to get to ticking and talking and, do this part 2 to this live that is all about something that's going on tonight that's called Diwali. I learned about Diwali through this young lady that I've been following for years. She talks about lots of different things that deal with spirituality. She's talked about tarot cards. I love tarot cards, all those different things. But I do remember the first time she started talking about Diwali. It was one of those things where I didn't know anything about it, but I watched the video because I like her so much, and I want to. If she knows it, I want to know about it because I just really I hold her high. I really like her. I love her, the way she talks. I love how upbeat she is. I think it would be awesome to have her around. And I feel like she's like I feel like I know her. But anyhow, she had made a video about Diwali. I tried my best that year to set up a little something last minute. Like, I learned about it, I learned about it and I'm like, I don't even know everything about it, but I'm like, I'm African American and I was wondering, do African Americans celebrate this? Like, is it okay for African Americans to celebrate it? Is it known that African Americans celebrate it? Okay, and because there's some things where um you know I don't want to be disrespectful. Like, I don't want to do something and say, oh, it's just for fun. When I got into spirituality, I got into it it wasn't for fun. I take it very, very seriously. It's not like a game. So I try my best to find out about what I'm talking about. But again, if I say something that I'm gonna be reading information where I had to look up stuff. I might be reading words to you instead of pronouncing the word out. Like, I'm giving you the letters and then you got to work from there. But I don't know how to pronounce it. I may say something and not be pronouncing it right because I'm going to be telling you about these, the deities. Okay. So, I looked it up. Okay. How do you pronounce it? And obviously, there's videos real short video where like a minute or something, like a couple seconds long, where it's pronounced. Like, okay, this is how you say it. I still may not pronounce it right because I just might not get it right, but please forgive me. It's not out of disrespect or anything. Again, I do think that there are some things that you are reserved, I think, for certain, maybe reserved for certain people, um, or certain groups, or it's like a total lifestyle, like a whole, like you have to be initiated into it. And maybe some people may not know it, but you have to be initiated into it. And it would be maybe looked at possibly as a disrespect. Okay. I'm not trying to have that. The idea is, I'm like, okay, can African Americans celebrate Diwali? So I looked it up. And guys, I should have taken a drink before I started this because obviously when you talk for like an hour, your throat dries up. So excuse me if you hear me sipping, whatever, but I've got water beside me. I got to take some in. Okay. So, and this is that season where, sore throats and things are going around. There's been times where I've went outside, like I like to put different things out, kind of make my porch up, whatever. And there was one day I went out, and obviously this is the time of year to be doing that because it's Halloween, people are putting, their pumpkins and things out like that. I went out and I was doing that. I did my sweeping and all that. You may know about the ritual, the cinnamon ritual where you do that on the first of the month. I actually got to do that this month. I remembered, went outside, and you blow cinnamon like in the threshold of your home. And some people it's just like, well, you don't want everybody to know about it because they look at it and they think you're doing something evil. But anyhow, so I'm so talkative. I just had to wet my throat, and I had went out, and I stayed out a pretty good amount of time, on my porch, putting my decorations and things out, whatever. Had so much fun doing it. And when I came back in, my throat was sore. So this is that time of year, and not everybody in my household right now is feeling the best. With that being said, I had to take a drink. I apologize. I'm going to get started on these notes. Okay. So around 6 p.m., a little bit before 6 p.m. is when you would be putting your last minute stuff, making your last minute, adjustments, whatever. Okay. This is the information that I read. And again, I looked up this information because the young lady that I have followed, she has actually, had a part and celebrated, if I can say it that way, celebrated Diwali since she was a child. So this is like a tradition of hers. So when she was talking about it, I try to watch all her videos. If I haven't watched it, I want to come back and watch her videos. So I went ahead and watched the video about Diwali, and I'm like, I love this idea. This is like people like coming together no matter what color you are. It's what color you are, you come together, and it's just about choosing light over darkness and happiness and joy, and raising that energy up. So with that being said, I did look it up, and I'm African American. African Americans celebrate it. And even when it comes to, I think I'm pronouncing the deity's name correctly. Don't look at it. I just may not be doing it correctly, but I'm trying here. Lakshmi. Okay. I saw where there have been there was like an African American man who was making a video about her. And, the whole idea was like, there was a whole setup, like offerings, everything, and this is, an African American man. So I'm like, okay, I saw that first. And then I looked around and I looked it up, and, to look it up and make sure that Black people can celebrate it. And, you can. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and read my notes that I found, that I looked up and found. Okay. So I think it's like around 5:30 or so, you would be putting your finishing touches on. It's like before you have the party, whatever. If you were having a party, these are the last minute little things you're doing before your guests come in, right? But with this idea here is, not only are you having guests come, you could have family members, you could have friends that you're around, but there is also like an energy that's being invited in. There is an energy that's being invited in, the deity. Like, there's some people that don't believe in things that they can't see. But before you look at things that way, think about think about just a signal. Like if you had a remote, okay? It used to be a thing where, there was a lot of cords included, like a telephone, it had a cord, okay? It's not like that, now. Like, you could have a remote to something, and it's not like the remote and this thing are connected. They basically communicated with an energy, a frequency that you couldn't see it, but it's there. Obviously, because you just touched a button and something else reacted. because this caused that to happen. So you pushed a button. Even now, you have Alexa. You don't even have to, to push. You push a button. What say something, and then this is responding to you. Okay, like we've come a long way, but just think about that before you believe that you have to see everything. I truly believe I'm right along with the people that celebrate this stuff. I truly believe that there is like a different realm. There's things you can't see. I believe it. I do. And it's kind of like the law of attraction, like working with the positive part of it. Okay? So with that being said, not only is this celebration about inviting your family or your friends in, but you're also inviting the deity, the energy in. Okay? So right now, I want to quickly explain this. You're looking at something. Please don't look at the tarot card and the idea. I want to quickly say this. If you join the other live, you know what I'm talking about. There is an energy of, there's a tarot card laid out in this video. It's the death tarot card. That tarot card doesn't have to necessarily be about like a person, like a physical death. It could be a death of one thing so that you can move on to another. You could lose a job, but it's the universe took that job for you. You got fired or whatever, because the universe knows that you're not meant for that job. There's something so much bigger and brighter out there for you to do, but you've got to network and get out there to that. You could be in a relationship. The person, somebody breaks up with you. You're all brokenhearted and everything, and you're crying and all that. That's the death of that one thing. But then when there is a ending, there's a beginning. Look at that. That's this tarot card and look at it that way. I put this tarot card in here, the death tarot card, because the more I looked up information about this and even watched the videos that, this particular young lady had put out, there was an idea of death there. And you're going to understand that more as I read my notes. So I thought about it as like, okay, I can relate to this because I study tarot cards. And I'm going to say this quickly. It's kind of like different people, if they got together, if you talked about something, you may think that I can understand that. This feels like something that I do. Like that's just like this that I do. Like, okay, I understand why this group of people, why they do that. Okay. And for me, I can see like a connection, like so many different things. Like this thing puts me in mind of this. Like this is just kind of like a rewrite or a twist to me of something else. I have went to church and, I've heard the word manifestation. Okay. And, they may look at it and say, okay, well, witchcraft. Okay. Guys, I so apologize. I hope that that didn't, something went wrong. And, I hope that this live didn't get broke up. You guys probably heard me talking to my phone. Kind of like, you were forced to eavesdrop possibly. My phone just did something kind of wacky. It may have just responded to me because I don't know. I was talking about, I don't know. My phone just did something wacky and it was trying to get me to do something else, whatever. And I'm like, wait a minute, I was doing this and I got people that I'm going live with and I want to jump back to that. So I hope you didn't get that interruption, but if you did, I apologize. And maybe I hope you did get the interruption because I just wanted to come back and join you guys anyway. So with that being said, this is Shadow Girl Sherry. I'm back and I'm talking about Diwali. Okay. So I had said that, I've went to church and heard the word manifestation said. Okay. And I could maybe talk to other people that may have been at that church service and they would say, okay, the law of attraction is like evil. Okay, because you think that you're working with something and it's not of God or something. Okay, but I'm listening to different things and I'm hearing different things like, okay, manifestation. Okay, that's a part of the law of attraction. Okay, ask and it will be given. Ask and you will receive. Okay, I think that there is a book by I think that she's been featured on Oprah. She was on Oprah when I had heard some things about like the law of attraction and different things like that. Like, you may know what the secret is, but you may have heard of another uh name that's pretty popular when it comes to spirituality and the law of attraction. And I do believe Abraham, I think it's maybe Abraham Hicks. Don't quote me, but I know it's Abraham, right? Which I can't help that, but it makes me think of abracadabra. And the more I looked into that word, there's a whole other thing behind abracadabra. It's not just a song. There's a whole, there's letters, everything. That's a whole other video. But basically, Abraham, I believe it's Abraham Hicks is the author. Um, Talks about the law of attraction. I have both. I have two of her books, right? And I think it may be a couple. And they're talking about the law of attraction. The one book is the law of attraction. The other one, I think it may be called Ask and It Is Given. I do I do believe it may be called Ask and It Is Given, but by Abraham. I do believe it's Abraham Hicks. Very popular name when it comes to the law of attraction. Tons of videos, things like that out, from Abraham, okay? Um, but I do believe the book is called Ask and Is Giving, okay? If I've heard it said in church, ask and is giving. If you knock and you will receive, like, you have to ask for it before you can get it. Like, there's a way for you, and I truly believe, like, if you're working with God or what, there is a way. I really believe that there's a way that God will bring things to you. Like, if you're this way, it's so said that if you fast, you get closer to God. Okay? I don't want to jump all into it, but I've heard lots of different, again, basically I've just heard different things when I was sitting in church, whatever, um where I've heard the preacher say things like manifestation. Okay? That's used in the law of attraction community, right? Okay? So, I think I've explained that well. But anyhow, guys, I kind of got off the subject because the interruption I got from my phone, whatever. I'm now going to jump into my notes because this time I want to get it all out. Okay. So Lakshmi, okay. Um, at like 5:30 or so, you're preparing everything, putting your last finishing touches on, whatever. Okay, but again, like I said, not only are you working, you're going to have a party, like a get together celebration, and you have friends and family, but you also have a deity. There's an energy that you're working with that's said to come in. Now, I said that there is a particular young lady that I follow. Man, I could be my sister, really. I feel like she's my long lost sister. We just have so much in common, and she's taught me so many things. She had started a video about Diwali, and I love the idea of it. She told some of the things that I can remember. One thing that she said was, I watched a few of her videos about it. Um, Basically, the big time is 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock on the main day, and I've got some notes here. Is where this energy would be really, really strong, right? And if I say something that's not right on, again, just understand that I don't know everything about this. I just wanted to be a part of it. And guys, if you're watching this right now, you're joining me, I want to thank you so much, because this is supposed to be very, it's very, very special. Like, this is a sacred, set apart time where there are people around the world that are doing this. They're celebrating. And right now, instead of being at a get together or a big party doing this, you're here with me listening to my voice. And guys, feel free, please leave some thoughts, what you think, anything in the comments, guys. If if I'm, lighting up your heart, making you feel good, whatever, you feel like you're learning something from me, I'm going to say it again, just like I said in the last live. I like candles. So if you would leave candles, and candles have a lot to do with this energy, light has a lot to do with this energy. I would really like it if somebody would like leave me some candles here in the chat. But leave what just I want to get people, I want to have people engage more in my lives. That's the thing that I've got to I've got to get moving. I really know that I'm doing something if you leave me some comments, hearts, whatever. Yeah, but candles, I love candles. So with that being said, not only are you working with people, your family, your friends, you're working with a deity, an energy. So the way I understand, 6 o'clock is like a big like high point. Okay, I'm going to give you off the top of my head some of the things that I learned through this particular young lady in her video. Okay, the idea is, and I definitely believe this. Okay, and it said in cleanliness is next to godliness. Obviously, anytime you are the saying again, cleanliness is next to godliness. Okay. Whenever you come, it's the same thing, same connection. When you are working with a spirit, when you choose to start working with spirits, and it makes sense to me. It's so said that if you're going to come asking something of a spirit, you don't want to come with dirt. You want to have everything as clean as possible. You want to have your, if you go to a store, you're working with candles. If you're doing, it's not Diwali and you consider yourself a bit of a witch and you're doing a spell, whatever energy, deity, spirit you're working with, even if you're working with your ancestors, you don't want to come to them with dirt. You want everything to be very, very, very clean, as clean as you can get it. Water, clean it up. You want it shiny. You want it clean. That makes so much sense to me because it's even holding yourself high. Like when you're feeling good, when you're clean, you're wearing clean clothes, you're wearing clothes that are clean. I've definitely got to do it. I've got clothes that I was like, girl, you're changing here. You're trying to step into a new timeline. Get rid of the get rid of the pair of socks that have holes in them. Okay. Go and get yourself some good socks. Okay. Get yourself some good socks. Don't keep the blanket that's got the rip in it. Go buy yourself a new fluffy blanket. Treat yourself good. When you are coming to the deity, to a spirit, even if you're working with your ancestors, you don't want to call in anything negative. You don't want to call negative energy in. This was one of the things that I learned from this particular young lady. Okay. She always specifies this stuff. I have ADHD. ADHD. Okay. I have a hard time organizing things. I do. And I can see where that would definitely add a block to your life. That would add that adds a block to your life. It stands in your way, it holds you back. Okay. It's also said that like you can get closer to God through fasting. See, you're purifying there. You get what I'm saying? But when it comes to spirits, when you're working with spirits, when you are working with you're working with God, cleanliness is next to godliness. That makes so much sense to me because God, come on now, he wants you to hold yourself high. Like I mean, guys, put something, I mean, just let me know what you think in the chat. Like if you think this is true. Like, okay, cleanliness is next to godliness. God, I've in church I've heard it said that I've been taught, in church, and you may not think the same thing. You may not go to church. You may not, what you believe. But I've been taught that, God put a part of himself inside of you. You believe what you believe, whatever. But to me, that's kind of like your spirit or your soul, whatever. Okay. that your body's your temple. Okay. That's the way, just look at it like that. If you want to look at it that way, your body's your temple. Um, you want to take care of it. The better you take care of it, the better it's going to feel. The better your presentation is going to be when you go out in the world. Okay. I've got to better my diet. Okay. But it's also, even when you're holding yourself high, and this is something that, like I say, when it comes to dating or whatever, you kind of, I think that when you're going off and you're trying to date, you have to think about who you would want to date. Are you necessarily looking for somebody that doesn't hold themselves up high? Are you going to be drawn to somebody? I look at things now, and since I've gotten to spirituality, it makes so much sense. When you go out, you want to find somebody. I think people are drawn to confidence, and when you love yourself, it shows. People know when you respect yourself and when you don't. And I really think that, when you're confident, you feel good about yourself, it shows, it radiates out. Okay. You're looking at my channel's called Sunset Songs. If you think about a sun, there's light to it. It radiates out. You can feel it. Love. You can feel love, light, it radiates out. Okay. The better you dress, whatever, you feel good. People know that you carry yourself high. You're a temple, man. You're what? A walking altar, really. Okay. I think you get what I'm saying. Um, when you're working with, any kind of, if you're doing a spell, anything like that, it's so sad that you got to make sure that the energy around you is clean. Okay. Um, you get what I'm saying? That's why they say, okay, when you're doing sage, even if you're doing tarot cards, cleanse your cards before you do them. You don't want negative energy in there. And then once you do it, have like a little crack, at least a little crack in the window. Everybody believes something different, but to me, that makes sense. That's like a prayer or affirmation, whatever, that's going out into the universe. You want it clean, you're releasing it. Okay. I think you get what I'm saying. But, basically this young lady just, said a lot about, okay, you want to make sure that everything is clean. Okay. Um, this goddess, did I say goddess? Okay, this deity, I think I'm pronouncing her name right. If Laksh, Lakshmi, Lakshmi, I hope I'm pronouncing it right. If you celebrate Diwali, please forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong. And the other one, a deity that is a part of this Diwali, I'm having a feeling that I am going to say that one wrong. And if I do, I apologize. It's no disrespect or anything. I think this whole thing is beautiful, really. Like, people coming together of all different races, and being happy and uplifting and trying to believe in positive. Come on, man. That's wonderful. Okay. So this young lady that I follow was just really emphasizing the thing of, it's light over darkness, keeping, having things very, very clean, because when you're working with the deities, whatever, spirits, even your ancestors, whatever, you want to come clean, because you don't want some negative energy picking up and coming in. You don't want like a false spirit, or like I think they call it a trickster spirit coming in. Okay. You don't want negative energy. You don't want that. And basically, when you're coming to a deity, a spirit doesn't like dirt. Like they want you got to come clean. You got to come clean. You got to come with some respect and know what you're coming to. You're coming, you're asking something. So if you want it to come back into you in a clean or a good way, it would make so much sense that if you're trying to attract something, you're trying to attract a good partner, a loving partner. Um, if you were to do this, and the things that you were working with, whatever, were not up to par, not clean, not, then you may call love in. And I think I've done this before. You, guys, that's a whole other story I'm going to share. And that's really, that's going to be a personal one. Um, it, I really feel like did something, and I called negative energy in. I really do believe it. I couldn't tell just anybody that. But I believe if you're watching this, like, we could probably be friends in real life. I feel like I called love in, but I called it in because this person had the exact looks that I asked for. There, I laid it down on the line what I wanted, and I called the energy in, but it was somebody that was not together. Okay, um, that's a whole other story. But you want to come correct when you're coming to a spirit, a deity. You want to come correct. Don't come in being stupid, right? Don't be stupid because you're going to get stupid back. Okay. All right. So let me continue here. She was basically saying, like, really emphasizing that. The idea is you want everything to be really, really clean. You want everything to be good. Your mirrors. Okay. A mirror, the reflection. You want your mirrors to, and now these things I'm really taking, like, okay, girl, like, yeah. Okay. And you think about it, this is what you want. Okay. Clean mirrors. Have your mirrors clean. That's something that it's a light. It's a reflection. Light. Okay. Clean your mirrors, your doorway, the entrance. Because basically, the way I understand, you are inviting the energy. You are inviting this light in. You're inviting this spirit in. And they truly believe it. The way she explained it, you open at 6 o'clock, you have your door open. Now I know that there's some areas where you can't do that because you're living in a place where it's not good for that. Okay. Um, but this is how the celebration, to some, this is how it's done. This is what she explained. And this is how she celebrates it. I don't know everything, but this is the way she explained. At 6 o'clock, your door is to be open, right? Okay. Again, I'm saying with caution. I'm telling you guys, you know where you live. You know how it is. And I even said in my last video, that was a whole other story, that Oprah had said something about a place where people actually put their babies out for like an hour during the day. That's a whole other thing. Tune in, watch that live. Now I can't I had went live earlier, and I went over an hour on TikTok. That's really the only thing that I'll be able to upload here on TikTok from that live for the replay here will be clips. But if you will join me on Sunset or on YouTube, my channel on YouTube is called Sunset Songs. Obviously you're going to look for Sunset Songs. You play a video, whatever. I'm going to introduce myself the way I normally do as Shadow Girl Sherry. Okay. And mine is about the law of attraction. You're looking for a circle and it says Sunset Songs. I believe the word sunset may be in pink. And this is terrible. I should know it. May be in pink, or I think, or maybe it's either pink or orange, but those are the colors, pink and orange, and the reason why I came up with those colors, and it's within a circle, obviously, because I'm working with the sun, and then the sun, to me, also, I'm saying sunset songs, I also work with the moon. So, and obviously the moon and the sun, you think about a circle. Okay. And there's sunlight, there's darkness. You have the sun rise in the day, you have the sunset at night. Okay. There's the energy of light and dark. And then, of course, you have the moon. Okay. And then there's light. There's light and dark. Okay. It's a Shadow Girl Sherry. But if you join me over there on Sunset Songs, you find my channel, Sunset Songs, all about the law of attraction, Shadow Girl Sherry. You're going to get the full live replay. That'll be the full extent of the whole video, the whole live. But here on TikTok, you're only going to get clips of it. Okay, so that's with most of my lives because I talk for so long. But the idea is, you would open what she does is opens her door. And the idea is this deity, the energy, whatever you want to call it, of this deity, is you're inviting that into your home. And she is basically blessing your home. Now, some people may look at it, I've heard the thing blessing, like, that's a whole other thing. Some people like to call it, like, you don't want to say blessing, you might want to say blissing. Like, I'm getting, instead of bless, because think about bless, you have B, and then you have less. You put those together, and it's so said that if you looked it up into it and all that, blessing is actually a negative thing. That's what some people believe. So if you want to call it a blessing, whatever, then call it that. But this energy is coming in and bringing wealth. She can sprinkle you up. Like, she can bring luxury. She can bring wealth and abundance in. But you have to be aligned with the right energy. You gotta be ready for it. You gotta be clean. You've got to have those mirrors, shiny, beautiful, reflection, pretty, beautiful, clean, spotless, that type of thing. It's the cleaner the better, okay? But because that's when she's gonna give you the abundance and the blessings. That's what she wants to give you. But you have to ask for it in the right way. Okay, there's a way to ask for it. And again, I've heard it said with God, and I truly believe it, because I told you I did something, and I think I did it in the wrong way. There's a way to ask. Okay, all right, and I'm gonna keep going. Her idea is you would open the home your door at 6 o'clock. Her energy, this deity, is going to come in, and she is going to, I guess it's kind of like an inspection, really, but what she wants to give you, she wants you, just like it's so said with the law of attraction, the universe is filled, it's abundant, right? It's abundant. So there's enough for you, there's enough for me, but you gotta know what to do with it. That's the law of attraction. Okay, if you put the wrong thing out, there's a way to ask. Okay, asking is given. But her idea is you have everything clean, your mirror's clean. You just want everything to be clean and spotless. Smells, the candles, obviously, this is a celebration of light. Okay, so there's candles. I'm going to read this because there's different words. It's not just called like a candle. I know I'm not going to pronounce it right, because I don't know everything about it. Like, I don't come from that, like, I wasn't raised to know about it. Like, I found out about this through this particular young lady that I follow. Again, I could look at her as like such a close friend. I would consider her a family member, I think. Like, I may as well say she's a family member, because she's always in my home through her videos. So, and guys, I hope that we will get that way, that you will have me in your home, really, through my videos. The sound of my voice will be a part of your home, part of your household, be a part of your life and your home, whatever. But of course, you would have to decide that. Okay, but I'm going to read these notes. But the idea that she started me out with is definitely cleanliness. Okay. And you will be blessed or blessed. She wants to bring this to you. You open the door, 6 o'clock. That's when it's going to start. She's going to come in, and she's going to be bringing this energy, and you're going to start to notice it unfold in your life. Okay. So with that being said, that's how she got me started. Okay. And it's just a big, beautiful, like, energy, right? Okay. But you got to be ready for it. Okay. So at 5:30 would be the time. We're in about something after 5. You would be putting these last minute touches on, but at 6 o'clock is where the whole thing really, really gets going. Now, I'm going to try my best to read the notes that I've written down. Again, go, and if you really want to know everything, obviously go and do your own research. I always encourage that, but this is what I got this is the information that I got when I looked it up. Okay. Okay. So, let me see what I've got here. This sacred worship of the goddess of wealth and prosperity, is performed during and I guess this must be like the ceremony or a ritual, whatever. I'm going to spell it out, guys. Pradosh. Okay. Then there's the second word is Kaal. Okay. The auspicious period time starts just after sunset. Okay. The specific timing of now here we go again. And this is, guys, when I started looking at these words, I started making connections, because again, I've been working with the law of attraction for a long time. And even before I started getting into the law of attraction, spirituality, I've always been drawn to things like this. Like when I was like a teenager, I was drawn to certain types of movies. I've always loved nature, flowers, all that different stuff. Okay. So I've always found these things interesting. But now that I've really gotten really deep into spirituality, again, this is my personal journey. Um, the more I go into this, I made a video last year about the root chakra. Um, I made a long video about it. I hope that you will go and get that video viewed more because again, this wasn't alive. And I was told at one point, your channel would do so much more better if you would just go ahead and go live, and you're going to be making more of a connection with viewers and draw people in. They're going to feel like they're getting to know you. They're going to hear, you know, they can join in on it and leave comments and so on. That's the way to go. And I've definitely found that has helped me. And I like doing it much better anyway, because I get on here and talk and, be with you guys. So, but I've made these connections, and the more I enjoy it so much because the more you walk the path, it's kind of like, it kind of feels like your path is being lit. You're being guided. And the more you do it with, like, I'm going to say the moon phases, with the more moon phases as you work through them, things will start to become more evident to you. Like, okay, I remember doing this. This is a pattern I'm seeing. And then it'll start to unfold and make more and more sense to you. It'll become clearer and clearer. Because some of these things that I look over, these words, when it didn't take me long to read some of these words and start to make the connection that there's something about the root chakra that was being talked about here. Even though I don't know a whole lot about Diwali, when I started making the notes, I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds like the root chakra. The more I read, I found out that one of the deities that's, very, very powerful, has a big part in this. He's basically the guardian of the root chakra. Okay. It makes so much sense to me because I saw a picture where he has a elephant head, and elephant has a trunk. When you think about a trunk, you think about a tree. You think about, you just have to get more and more into it. It made so much sense to me. A tree has a trunk. Okay, a tree has a trunk. Now this deity has an elephant head, and it obviously, an elephant has a trunk. And when elephants are said to be a thing of wealth. Okay, and if you think about, okay, you're thinking about a tree. Trees are a part of nature. Nature always gives. Nature is giving. That's the nature. That's nature. It's natural. I think man has taken a lot of things away, really. In the beginning, I think we were all meant to have certain things. And then man started making things complicated. But nature is giving. It's loving, it's giving. Trees, they're abundant. Right now, the leaves are falling, but they're going to grow back. They're going to grow, because come spring, things are crumbling out here right now. The leaves are leaving. They're leaving, and they're crumbling. And there's a whole energy behind that. Like, this is the season of kind of, things die, Okay, the leaves fall. They get left behind, but you could leave those leaves and they could actually nourish. I've found, people have said that it nourishes your soil, and that makes me kind of think of soul. Okay, the connections. But a tree has a tree trunk. Okay, the deity, the head, it's the deity's head is an elephant. An elephant has a trunk, just like a tree has a trunk. Okay, nature is giving and abundant. Okay, grass. There's so much grass outside. There's grass in my yard. There's grass in the yard next door. It's abundant. It's out there for everybody. Okay. I hope I've explained that right. But when you think about this, I started making the connection because I've heard of, okay, let me find the word here. And I got to keep reading, But where's it at? I thought about about a dosha. I've heard that before. I've heard that before. I know that there's I think there's three of them, or I got to learn more about it. But the more I look into it, I make these connections. Okay, but let me read this. Let me read the word out. Pra, and then you have dosh. Pradosh. Okay, the next word is Kaal. The auspicious period that starts just after sunset. The specific timing of now this made me think of the root chakra. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it starts with an M. Now, the root chakra obviously deals with stability, um, you know, your stability, your foundation. You I mean, look it up yourself. But the whole name for that, I can't pronounce it right, but it starts with an M. I know this because I basically did a full book report on it. I've got a video up about it. And hopefully you guys will go and look up the video. It's just about the root chakra. Okay. And but the name of it, if you were to write it spell it all the way out, pronounce it, it starts with an M. Now I started making the connection when I was making the notes. I'm like, okay, is this dealing with the chakras? Okay. And let me spell the word. Okay. Muhurat. Okay. And this is the most sacred time. Okay. That makes me think of some other word. Sanskrit. Okay, you got to look it up and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. You'll start connecting the dots as well. Okay, and I'm thinking of connecting dots. You think about the chakras, you think about the spine, you think about a tree standing tall. Okay, tree stands upright and tall. When you think about yoga, guys, yoga is about the spine. And you do that, it's strengthening, right? Okay, your spine. You kind of think about a tree. Your spine, you want to keep it straight. You don't want to be slouching all the time. Slouching. It's not good. When you set up, that's good for the spine. Trees stand tall. You get what I'm saying, a spine, okay? And you think about, okay, just, the bone structure, a spine. You think about the chakras. Let me keep talking, guys. Okay. Okay, but this part, like, it varies obviously. When you start this, it's going to vary by your location, the timing and all that. We know that different places, your time is different. Okay, so now these are the notes I took. Evening rituals and timing, 6 p.m., is focused on inviting good fortune into the home. Families observe several key. Now this, I think, like, this word, I don't know if I wrote this right because I was writing really, really fast. So guys, I wanted to get this video up before 6 o'clock, but there was no way I was doing it. It wasn't happening. I just got so, I remember Diwali is actually on my calendar. Like, it's on my calendar. It's not on every calendar, but it's on my calendar because of the type of calendar I got. Like, it's a specific kind of calendar. Okay. And Diwali is mentioned. Like, it's on there. Guys, I can't believe this. I've talked so long again and I did not get the notes done. I'm going to have to continue. Oh my goodness. I'm going to have to continue this like at another time, probably tomorrow. But let me read this. I have like 4 minutes left, guys. I am a talker. I do apologize. Any of you guys that have come and have joined me, I thank you so much. I know that I can talk about Lakshmi at other times as well. Because she kind of puts me in mind of the energy of like Aphrodite and Venus, really. And it gets to me because we're actually pretty soon, all this stuff really touches down. It makes so much sense to me because I do believe the next new moon that we are going to be having is in the sign of Libra. And that deals with balance. Now, guys, if I could have read these notes, and guys, I'm so sorry. With my notes, the first deity works with the base of the spine, the root chakra. He's all about getting rid of, clearing obstacles. You've got it. He's going to come in. The idea is for him, that was the death part. Before you can have this light, there had to be darkness, and that was yesterday. You're going to have to go up and look at some information. And guys, I so apologize that I did not get these notes in. We have, oh, inactivity. What's going on here? I've been talking the whole time. Inactivity during your current live. Complete the verification to continue your current live. Oh gosh, I don't know how to drag the puzzle piece into place. Let me see. Oh, come on now. Okay, I got it. Now, guys, I can continue. Okay, I'm going to quickly read this, guys, because I don't live, like, I'm not alone right now. I've got family, but I don't think they would have wanted to celebrate Diwali with me, right? So let me hurry up and finish and read my notes. And I just want to get the notes finished, and then obviously I'll close the live down. And another thing I want to share, my phone is actually at 10%, so I've got to work this quick. Okay, so evening rituals and timing, 6 p.m. is focused on inviting good fortune into the home. Families observe special key, and that this word I'm going to skip past because I don't know, during this time. Preparing for this is a word, Puja. That must be a ritual. Okay, the time before sunset is spent putting the finishing touches on the home, including lighting, and it's a clay pot. It says a clay pot. Diyas, that's what I want to say this word is, but it's pronounced or spelled Diyas. And what it is, they're clay lamps. Okay? Candles and other lights that signify light over darkness. Okay, setting up the altar. The altar, this must be a Puja. That must be the name for the altar. Is arranged with idols, and I'm thinking these are like statues or 3D figures, you get what I'm saying, or pictures of the goddess Lakshmi, and often Lord guys, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, but it makes me think of chocolate ganache. But no disrespect, but that's just what I think of when I see the word Ganesha, maybe. You got to look it up, but it's spelled Lord. Okay, and then the next word is Ganesha, who is worshipped to remove obstacles. That's what this deity is going to come in and do. This deity basically is like a guardian over top of the whole the root chakra. But the idea is, if the root chakra is not, if you've got some healing that you need to do, it's not going to be stable. So the idea of this energy, it comes in to break those obstacles up. That's the death part. Okay, so that's the darkness. The light would be coming in with Lakshmi, okay? And I think the way I understand is she must be a part of the colors that would be the next couple of chakras. And that would be the sacral chakra, which is about creating, okay? It's orange. After that, the next one up would be the solar plexus, which is yellow. Okay, and then I think the heart chakra, okay, which is green. It's green. Okay. So let me hurry up and read these notes, and hopefully I'm going to know how to shut this down and everything will be fine, because normally I go over an hour, but I hope that this is going to work right, because I've been texting, I've got to get back to do some things. I don't know what's going on, but I have family in my home, and I was just having some set aside time to make the video and to join up with you guys, because obviously we have so much in common. But I don't think my family would be all about this stuff. But anyhow, so that's why I made it alive, and I come and I, set up with you guys. Okay, but is arranged with idols. Okay, pictures, statues, I'll call it, 3D, figures, whatever, of the goddess Lakshmi, and often Lord Ganesha, guys, you know how to pronounce it, who is worshipped to remove obstacles. Okay, and that would be the death part, the darkness, death, and then you have the light. Okay, and that's why I put the death card in here. And I even have a pin that I can, I put on my clothes, a pin that you wear in your clothes that is it's of the death card. Okay, and I have other things laid out. I have actually have the sign a lighter that's for Scorpio because we're getting ready to go into Scorpio season. The tarot card that corresponds with Scorpio is the death card. Okay, and guys, I did tell you, I don't know if I think I've shared in other videos. My mom is the one that got me started, really got me deep into spirituality. It was going through her death that I really got into spirituality, and it so helped me, right? But my mom was actually a Scorpio. That was the sign that she was born under. That's her son. That was her sun sign, was Scorpio. And the tarot card that aligns with Scorpio is the death card. Okay. And you don't have to look at that in a bad way because again, there's always things that have to end in life for something new to begin. Okay. So I'm going to quickly say that. But Lord, Ganesha, okay, he breaks up the obstacles. Lakshmi is going to come in. The idea with her is Lakshmi. And that makes me think of unlocking a door. Like, that's just what it makes me think of. Unlocking a door, coming in, and she's resetting things. This is a reset. We're get one foot out of the old. We're letting go of things. Get rid of old clothes, things that are broken up. You don't want to have piles of dirty clothes. You don't want to have old clothes, old ratty clothes that have holes in them, because that's not the timeline we're trying to step into, what we're trying to attract. Okay, you don't want all that stuff around. You want to get rid of that. Don't have one foot in the past because we're stepping in forward. You can't step into a better moment with one foot in the past. You got to let that go. Get rid of the old. Get rid of the old stuff, the old clothes. We don't want that no more. We're presenting something new to the world. That's what I want to tell you. Okay. So there will be, let's see, chanting. I think the word chanting, obviously, I think the word is mantras. Okay. To invite prosperity. Okay. Offerings that you want to leave for the deities. Offerings would be fruits, sweets, coins. This is wealth here. Fruits, and that makes me think of abundance because fruits are abundant. They grow abundantly. They grow abundantly. Fruits, sweets, coins, and flowers, especially lotuses to the deities. That makes so much sense to me because the root chakra is a part of the symbol is a lotus. Okay. And think about it. The energy, a lotus grows, I think, from like swampy, like just wet, muddy conditions. But then this beautiful lotus, a flower, comes from it. So, but there's darkness. The darkness leads to the light. Okay. I'm going to quickly keep reading, and hopefully I'm going to know how to turn this off so that it won't be erased. Okay. Because I have, family to get back to and some kind of a note. I don't know. I've got to get the message, but I want to finish off with you guys very, very quickly. Okay. Offerings would be fruits, sweets, coins, and flowers, especially lotuses to the deities. Worshipping Lord Ganesha, and Goddess Lakshmi. Okay. Performing a prayer, which I guess a prayer ceremony. This ceremony, I believe, would be called, I'm going to spell it out, AARTI. Performing a prayer ceremony involving the waving of lighted lamps. After the PUJA, sorry guys, you have to look it up because I don't know how to pronounce it. Friends and family members will exchange sweets and gifts. You're exchanging. An exchange is going on. Going into the evening, homes and businesses it goes into the evening. Homes and businesses will glow with strings of light and soft flickering, like the lamps and the candles. Like, okay, soft flickering, and I'm going to spell the word out. DIYAS. And I guess that would be the clay pots. Okay. People gather. These notes are written kind of messy because I had to get it done fast. People gather with families and friends to share meals and exchange greetings. Okay, so that page is done. I've read all that, and again, I'm trying to do it kind of fast. I like to make videos in my car, guys. I really do, because this is all about my personal journey with the law of attraction. Your car is, where you take some journeys, but it's dark now, so I can't do that, like I used to could, because, it's dark outside. Okay. Fireworks are often lit after the this is, I guess, hear me out. Fireworks are often lit, let off after the PUJA. Hope I spelled that right. To ward off evil spirits and to to bring it's all about the festive mood. Okay. It's all about the festive mood and lifting your spirits. Guys, I love this idea. Okay. Lord Ganesha, this is another note I wrote down. Lord Ganesha, I may not be saying it right, guards the root chakra, which is located at the base of the spine. He is believed to help remove obstacles and open the gateway to the higher chakras. And that's where Lakshmi would come in. And that makes me think of unlocking a door. Like you're unlocking. If you have blockages in that lower chakra, the root chakra, it's not stable. It's not built the way a home starts with a good foundation. You're not going to have a good home without a stable, good foundation. And that's a home, a tree trunk, a flower. It's got to start from the seed and work its way up. Okay. It's got to be stable. That's my idea to you guys. That is all the notes I have, guys. And this is going to wrap up what I wanted to bring to you guys. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to shut this down properly, so I'll be able to keep it. Because normally I can talk into an hour. I've already done it, obviously, but I restarted this live. I know how to restart the live now, so I can do that next time instead of letting it turn off. But now I don't know exactly how to stop. So I'm so hoping that I'm going to know how to turn this off, and I'm not going to lose this, because it would be such a waste that I put all this in if I can't put it over to, upload it to my TikTok or onto my YouTube channel. After I've done all this talking and I've done all this work and everything. So I'm hoping that I'm going to know how to shut this down. Maybe if I just stop talking, it'll do that. But guys, this is going to be the conclusion here. I've read all my notes. I think I've given you some ideas to work with. If you want to go and look up more information, I definitely invite you to do that and encourage you to do that. I just had to do something for this because I thought it's such a beautiful idea. But I hope that you get the idea why I laid things out the way I did for this, to draw you guys in. My idea was this really just makes this whole celebration really just makes me think of a housewarming. Like you're putting warm, loving energy into your home. This is what you're asking for. You're inviting this into your home whenever you're keeping your house clean, whatever. And the idea is here. That's why I have a candle warmer or a wax warmer in the video. This is about adding warmth to my home, spreading love and joy and warmth into my home. Anybody that's coming into my home, my family, whatever, I want there to be a warm, loving energy in my home. So we're going into like sweater weather. It's cold, all that. Hey, we want our homes to be warm. You want nice, fluffy blankets and so on. Get ready to watch your movies or whatever you're going to do for the season. But my idea, that's why I put the wax warmer here. That's basically like my clay pot, really, that I came up with. And I work with all these different things when I do manifestation and all that different stuff. It's all about calling the positive energy in. But that's why I have the candle warmer or the wax warmer in this layout here. It's all about warming my home up and trying to invite positive energy in. I didn't open my door or anything like that. Maybe I missed out on some things, but I still have things that I want to learn, that I've got to learn. But I wanted to come in and invite you guys in and let you know, to start a conversation, get you to think about, maybe you might want to do this next year. I just think it's a beautiful idea. But that was the idea of the warmer. I have the idea of light and dark here because, you know, the idea of the obstacles being cleared away. I didn't put a red candle in there, and I didn't put a white candle. The warmer is white, but the candle, the tea light that I have in here is black. But that was my idea of thinking of like the representation of clearing the negative energy out. Get rid of the negative, okay? Get rid of the negative before you can bring that light in, okay? And it's so said that black is it protects. That was my idea here. That's just what I did, okay? So the tea light I have in here is black. The warmer is white. Beautiful. I think it's called iridescent, white, shimmery, all that. I cleaned it up pretty, all that. Beautiful reflection, everything like that. The wax that is in here is blue, but it is because that is the particular um oh um melt that I used, and I think it's called Sacred Altar. And the idea of that was is like you setting up an altar for your ancestors or your loved ones. That's just what I put in the video, but because that, you know, I wanted to use that up. But guys, I hope you get what I'm saying, what I was trying to deliver to you. It was no disrespect to the deities or to the whole celebration or anything of Diwali. Obviously, I think it's a beautiful thing, and I wanted to share it with you guys. And I want to thank you so much for joining me. I've had so much fun, like I always do with my lives. I have one bar left before my phone dies. I got to get to a charger before I lose this. I don't know if I'll lose it or what. I'm hoping everything will be okay. Guys, this is Shadow Girl Sherry signing out. I'm going to touch this and hope that it's going to shut down. Guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I'm hoping that my family's going to understand when I come down and they're not going to like say anything like, you know, that'll go in the live as I go downstairs. But I'm going to have to go downstairs and charge my phone. So guys, thank you so much for joining me. This is Sherry. This is Shadow Girl Sherry, hopefully signing out. I hope maybe if I touch this or if I just stop talking, this live will end, okay? Because I don't know how to end it. My lives always end because I talk till it ends, and I just have to shut down. I talk till it ends, and I just have to shut down.